Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. You are now live with the Psychic Couple. I am Jen.
I am Chuck.
And this is Spiritual and Paranormal Experiences, our Hopi Prophecy.
It airs on March 13, 2022.
Which really doesn't matter because if you're listening to us, then it's already that time of the month.
Yeah, but some people would like to know, is this
when this came out.
Was this 15 years ago or was it
yesterday?
Yesterday, yes. Spiritual and Paranormal Experiences is brought to you by the Society for Spiritual and Paranormal Research. And our website is
www.cbezio.com.
You can always look for the SSPR, which is Society Spiritual Paranormal Research, or the CBEZIO.com. Yeah, using the hashtags. Join us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook group. Coming up on this episode, traditional elders emphasize
elemental realities,
enforced
acculturation all over the planet. Tools of protection now are going to be read to you by Minister Chuck.
Okay, I want everybody to clear your mind. This is a happy, drama-free, positive place. Put your hands to the ceiling.
No, just raise your palms towards God.
Right,
Close your eyes. Take a deep, cleansing breath into the nose and out through the mouth. And listen to the voice of Chuck. No sleeping here. Come on.
Oh, I'm not meditating. No,
okay, we're not. Okay. Well, we are meditating, but
yeah, tools of protections.
Yes.
This is a very serious thing. Okay, so please, my Lord, surround us with the white light of the Holy Spirit. Surround us with the golden ring of love, and fill it with the green, flowing, healing energies. Please, my Lord, surround us with a double-sided mirror that repels all negative energy and only allows positive, influential energies to flow freely. Please use Asna's shield for protection, Asna's sword for defense. I love you, my Lord, God and Jesus and Asna. Amen.
Amen. And on a happier note, today we are celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Yes, this is the Lucariatis time of the year. Tools of Protection has been brought to you by the Church of Love and Light. Ministers Chuck and Jen invite you to become members of the Church of Love and Light, and that's at www.cbezio.com.
And next is the prayers and blessings brought to you by none other than moi.
Minister Jen will do the prayers and blessings.
And once again, I ask you to close your eyes, take a deep cleansing breath, listen to the sound of my voice, put your palms towards the heavens, and listen to me. Dear God, thank you for your great love and blessings over our lives. Thank you that your favor, patience, and grace has no end, but it lasts for our entire lifetime. Please forgive us for sometimes forgetting that you are intimately acquainted with all of our ways, know our faults, and that you know what concerns us, and you take us into your mighty arms to protect us as only our Heavenly Father can. Amen.
Amen. And I would like to send out a special blessings in solidarity with the Ukrainian people. May the Lord, God, and Jesus and Asna protect them and watch over them during this time.
Yes, may He keep them within His heart and hold them within His hands.
And let this
shelter them under His wings and keep them safe.
Let this end sooner than later.
Yes, please, dear Lord, help these people and let this end quickly.
Yes.
And I also have another prayer for a dear friend of mine who's only been in the States for a couple of years, and he's suffering from something that the doctors can't figure out what's wrong with him, and he's been in a lot of pain for the last several months. And he goes by the name of Razi, and he asked me to keep me in his prayers, so this is what I'm doing.
A special prayer and blessing for Razi.
Yes, he's been having abdominal pain, so if we could just say a little prayer for him and put him in our prayers and blessings, he would appreciate it. So this one's out to you, Rozzy.
And the Church of Love and Light does have a prayer chain. You can add your name to it, and people can say a prayer every day for those who need prayers and guidance.
And for those that haven't gotten to us, there's a prayer and a blessing for you too. You are all loved. Amen.
Prayers and Blessing is brought to you by the Church of Love and Light Ministers, Chuck and Jen. Our website is at www.cbezio.com.
Sorry, I blanked out. I was peeking at the paranormal news.
Oh, okay. Yes, our next segment is Paranormal News. Astrobiologists suggest the Earth itself may be an intelligent entity. This is a mind-bending concept.
Why would this be mind-bending? Earth, Gaia, has been a well-known entity for millennia. The pagans have worshipped her for millennia.
And speaking on
Mother Earth has been known for millennia.
Edgar Casey asked about whether or not the Earth was a living entity.
Mother Nature has
And she
been
said
known
that
for millennia.
all bodies in the universe are living entities on their own. Yes, Jupiter, Pluto, you name it, Mercury, Venus. They
all have their own ecosystems and their own way of rotating and breathing and doing, and they all have their own cycles. And Earth definitely has its own cycles.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Earth has a way of keeping everything alive.
It does.
And we're poisoning it.
And if it's not in balance, it has a way of correcting itself.
That it does. We have floods, we have monsoons, we have tornadoes, we have hurricanes, we have, oh my, earthquakes and,
just
volcanoes and
how many things are alive in us.
the microbes and bacteria and protozoa and
That's the stuff that lives within us. I'm talking about the cells. Every single individual cell is alive. It's a living tissue.
yes.
We are a colony of living tissue. And I do believe that Earth...
We're just bags of water.
Oh, you're going back to the Enterprise. Yes. A group of researchers have...
Bags of water or Men in Black?
Both. But I just recently saw a clip from Star Trek The Next Generation where extraterrestrial entities...
Or are we carbon?
With slight carbon. Or carbon-based water bags. That's how they worded it.
Carbon-based water bags?
Yes. Carbon-based water bags. And these were light entities. But a group of researchers have posed a fascinating and downright mind-bending thought experience. If a planet like Earth can be alive, can it also have a mind of its own?
Why not? Mother Nature gets temperamental. We live in New England. Look at New England. We have all 4 seasons in one friggin' day.
It has a way of balancing itself out one way or another.
The team published a paper exploring this question in the International Journal of Astrobiology. In it, they present the idea of planetary intelligence, which describes the collective knowledge and cognition of an entire planet. Though it seems like something ripped off the screen of a Marvel movie, they believe that the concept might actually help us deal with global issues such as climate change, or even help us discover extraterrestrial life.
Is it possible that Earth is an intelligent entity? And what proof is there that Earth could possibly be alive?
Didn't I just name off 20 different things?
Intelligent.
Earth has a heartbeat. Earth has a magnetic field. Earth has
Let me put it this way.
Circulatory system. Earth breathes.
Yes.
It takes in CO2. It emits oxygen.
Yeah. It has not only that, it also has the oil, the lubrications. It has lava, the blood flow of the earth. It
has water, coolant, it sweats.
and that is all. But what intelligence? And this would get me into the pagan beliefs about the elements. If you ask Gaia for certain things, and I have asked Gaia, and only an intelligence would be able to respond. And Gaia has responded to me with my requests. I ask for the elements very rarely. They're gifts from the divine and God and Gaia.
But you have a special bond with water.
Yes. And
I have a special bond with air.
yes.
But that also has to do with our birth signs.
Yeah, my birth sign's fire. But
Mine is
I'm
air.
a water bearer, but you are a double. You're an air sign and an airhead. An air bearer.
Thank you, my dear. But I have control over all elements. Some more than others, but I do have control over all elements.
Well, at least you got control over elements. You just need to learn to get control over yourself.
Never.
Okay.
The day I do that is the day I'm dead. And that's when they're planting me in the earth.
I just completely
This is from futurism.com. China says rover discovered glass spheres on the dark side of the moon. And then it says globular glass China's U-22 rover just won't stop making, or at least claiming, weird discoveries on the moon. Case in point, Chinese space authorities now say it's found several mysterious glass spheres found on the far side of the lunar surface. The team behind the discovery published a paper about the findings in the journal Science Bulletin, in which they describe the objects as translucent glass globules. The spheres are roughly a centimeter in diameter, they say, and were spotted in images taken by the panorama camera on the U-22 rover on the dark side of the moon. Unique spheres, while undoubtedly surprising, glass has been discovered on the moon before in numerous instances, caused by meteorite impacts or the moon's past volcanic activity. Note, natural glass forming glass spheres on Earth, the lightning zaps in and out of the thick
plumes of rising ash, making the ash so hot it sometimes turns into liquid. If the ash particles are heated significantly and given enough time to cool, they can morph into tiny glass spheres, no bigger than a dot from a pen tip.
Basically creating glass sand.
Do you believe what China has found on the dark side of the moon is natural or unnatural formations?
I believe that they're natural, and you can see in a lot of videos that we've seen from the moon the impacts of some of these
But if you
meteorites.
go into, and the link is here, but if you go more into the article, you will see that these are not from impact. These spheres are not from impact. They're not caused by impacts.
How do you know that?
Because
How do you know they're not at the bottom of a crater or an old crater?
because the rover can see that it's not a crater. It's a flat surface. There doesn't appear to be any prior volcanic activity. It is just an area in which all of a sudden there's glass spheres appeared. And the reason why I put that part of the article in there about how on Earth, where they could just naturally be formed if they weren't formed by impacts or if they weren't formed by volcano, they're formed by lightning on Earth. Well, there's no lightning on the moon.
As far as we know.
But
like I was going to say,
sparks of light.
we've seen blue sparks of light coming from the moon.
And there must be some kind of a static electricity.
Exactly. The moon does have some atmosphere.
And I do believe that the moon has a lot of...
All you need is some atmosphere
it's not a
for
dead
lightning.
rock like they try to claim it to be.
No, it's not. There is some atmosphere.
They find water in it. I bet...
They found water and ice.
I bet they're going to find micro organisms in the bottoms of craters where the temperature is more climate controlled. Some people would be surprised to hear that.
Well, they've found fossils.
That no, that came from Mars. The fossils, they believe they're fossilized. But they just
Are you sure?
there's a new thing that just came out this week about the moon, is that 50-year-old moon rocks that had never been studied before.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's going to take them another 50 years just to get them out of storage.
Surprisingly, NASA didn't just...
It is. You didn't hear about the process they have to go through to get them out of storage?
I'm telling you, NASA's archiving of their stuff is absolutely horrible. They cannot find the original tapes for the moon landing.
Those have been gone for years.
Yeah. Why, if this is a government agency, isn't it the responsibility of NASA, just like every other government agency, to be filed in the National Archives, and be officially recorded and documented forever? But this is from futurism.com.
The government has a way, in order to hide things they don't want us to know, they lose things and make things up. They've destroyed things. They've locked things away and lost them forever. Moving on a little bit from our cryptoid. An Amazon explorer and his weird cryptid discoveries. Since time unremembered, we have sought to penetrate out beyond what our maps show and trudge out over the horizon to explore and conquer the uncharted lands that lie beyond.
That would be Jennifer not actually walking out of the house and actually going outside. The land beyond.
It is an innate characteristic of the human spirit to wander at what lies beyond what we know and to delve into the mysteries of these wildernesses hold. For centuries, I've got it tongue-tied this morning. Explorers have gone out into the unknown and brought back information that has helped us to better understand our world and even our place within. On occasion, these explorers have brought back some strange stories indeed. It seems only natural that the explorers who first stepped foot into new, unexplored realms that are strangers to civilization should come across things no one has ever seen before. Often this comes in the form of coming across creatures that seemingly should only inhabit the wilds of the imagination. One explorer who brought back tales of strange beasts within his journals is an explorer of South American jungles. The explorer went out looking for a lost city and would come back with a whole list of weird creatures never seen before.
Is it possible that the weird creatures discovered could explain some of the cryptozoology?
Oh yes, people have gone out, and that's where we get a lot of our cryptoids. They find these strange creatures. Eventually they are explained, and eventually they are named, usually after their discoverers, and they become a creature of regular sight.
Oh, so once again, with cryptozoology, it just becomes zoology. Just like with the paranormal, it becomes the normal.
Yes.
It's not...
The ones that stay cryptoids, or the ones that stay paranormal,
isn't a true scientist
are the ones
and explorer...
that don't reoccur.
Yeah. Isn't a true scientist and explorer a discoverer those who keep an open mind and not have it closed off
Yes.
to this is the definitive answer? The story is for always evolving.
It's for those that don't overlook the differences.
Yes, they don't cover up and hide the anomalies.
It's for those that look for the differences. It's for those that look in the places that haven't been looked in before.
Yes, like me. I'm a salmon swimming upriver. I can't help it. It's my
Salmon have
nature.
always swimmed upriver. You're an old story.
Yes, but it's easier to swim downriver, but for some reason I just keep trekking up that river.
You're stupid.
Isn't that just special? If you would like to know more about this story, the link is on our website.
Paranormalnews.org.
Yes.
.org.
.org.
Paranormalnews.org.
Paranormal News is brought to you by Paranormal News at
And these are all posted on our website.
At www.paranormalnews.org.
And now for your spiritual moments.
Yes. 7 modern miracles that science can't explain. God is still in the business of miracles. Believe it or not, God is.
A mysterious voice led rescuers to find a child who survived for 14 hours in a submerged car.
A woman who came back to life after having no pulse for 45 minutes.
Sounds like me.
I know.
A boy who fell into an icy stream was resuscitated after nearly 2 hours of CPR. That sounds like destiny.
Yes, we have a
puppy dog.
My wife is a zombie, and I also have a zombie dog.
The power of community prayer sparked a healing miracle that doctors can't explain. That's why we do our group prayers.
Yes, our prayers and our blessings.
Vatican
confirms Colorado boy was healed by a nun from beyond the grave.
God shows man the power of marriage during life, threatening to hold up.
Pope Francis performs a rare blood miracle. Now, here's a question for you. Have you ever experienced a miracle?
Yes, several.
Yes, I have too. I have.
I've been blessed.
Yes, the moment that you think you're in the bleakest moments, the darkest of moments, all of a sudden...
People take miracles for granted. They don't see
them
miracles
for what they are. And most miracles that are happening happen without our knowledge. But
no, a lot of that miracles happen with our knowledge. Look at our children. My children are miracles.
I know.
I only had one, and she was C-section, and she was my miracle. And then we were blessed by being able to adopt another, and that was a miracle.
And once again, more information.
Me living was a miracle after my dental accident.
You not killing me yet is a miracle.
32 years, yeah. I'm glad you see that.
Yes.
6 signs angels are nearby. God's messengers leave their mark everywhere they go.
Oh, yes.
There are always angels in this world.
Maybe one day we will just talk about our miracles that we've had, share them with everybody, or signs or our angel experiences. But there's a reason why we're ordained ministers and we're in the Church of Love and Light.
There's a reason for everything.
It's not just paranormal. That's why it's spiritual and paranormal. Because we've had a lot of...
The spiritual and the paranormal go hand in hand.
They're connected. They are connected.
Unfortunately, many people do not know the signs that show angels are nearby. As such, they remain unaware of the divine company they keep. They wander obliviously through their lives. Obliviously through their lives and have no idea that angels are looking over their shoulder, even though they would love to know that there were angels nearby. Do not be like those people. Learn how to recognize when angels are nearby so that you can take advantage of their wisdom and hints they leave you. Here are 6 signs that angels are nearby.
Friends with feathers. I was looking at my featherly friends this morning before it started to rain.
Yes, they are beautiful. Pennies from heaven.
Yeah, I've experienced that. Repeated numbers. Oh, that's all the time. All the time.
Moving music.
I know that my mother's around when I hear one of her favorite songs.
Yes.
All the time. It will. What's weird is that I will have a thought about my mother, and the next thing you know, one of her favorite songs will play on the radio.
Yep.
Unexpected connections.
Yep. I'll meet somebody, and lo and behold, they knew my grandparents, or they knew my aunts and uncles, or they knew somebody that knows me.
Yep.
And then
dreams.
Dreams.
Okay, have you ever experienced any of these signs or any other signs?
Definitely.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced.
But I know enough to look for it.
Yeah. Some of the stories.
I've had car accidents where I've had angels just
appear. You told me one time that there was an elderly woman struggling, and you brought her home, and there was something divine or spiritual or mystical about her. You just felt compelled to assist and help, and something as simple as an angel
Lending a helping hand.
yeah, this angel assisting you to lend a
Assisting them.
yeah, but it's assisting you to help them because
I'm a rescuer, and by me helping
Yes.
somebody else helps me.
you're achieving one of your life's missions.
My need to be a rescuer.
And it's a reminder that of who you are and what type of person you are, and you're on the right track. 5 warning signs from angels. Don't ignore an angel's warnings.
When you make the conscious choice to work with your angels, they give you signs like numbers and feathers to let you know you are on the right path to your guide. Oh, speaking of feathers, I find feathers everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. I have found feathers from my brother-in-law's dead chicken in my brand new interior of my house. The bird's been dead for what, 3 years?
Yep. Jack?
And I find feathers everywhere. Feathers by my bed, feathers in my
Boomer,
living room.
I find feathers from Boomer all the time.
Yeah.
Boomer is our
My cockatoo, and he's been dead for what?
10 years?
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been that long.
Wow. But I find feathers everywhere. And he's one of my angels now, too, my poor Boomer.
When you make the conscious choice to work with your angels, you they give you signs like numbers. Oh, you already read this in feathers.
Yeah.
Okay, they offer you subtle signs, hints, and messages to show the way and let you know they are with you. These signs are usually repetitive, out of the ordinary, personally meaning coincidence, abnormal, or unexpected. They also give us signs of impending danger or warning when we need to pay better attention
to what is going on around us. When you encounter a warning sign, don't worry. Stop what you are doing or take heed of the warning. The angels will also send you warning signs and messages when you have been ignoring the subtle signs you have been asking to receive. If the message isn't getting through and you keep asking, they will try to deliver it in different ways. If you have asked your angels for a sign and feel you are not getting one, try to ask for it to come in a way that you can understand right now, and they will keep trying. Here are 5 warning signs your angels can use to communicate with you. Hearing disembodied voices.
dreams and
Premonitions.
Yeah,
An unforgettable feeling in the pit of your stomach.
I've had those. Strange delays or mechanical failures.
Sudden illnesses or ominous warnings from others.
Yes, go back to these mechanical failures. That reminds me of when I'm in a mad rush because I'm running late.
Strange delays or mechanical failures. Like yesterday, we were trying to get out of the house. And for some reason, we just couldn't get out of the house. And even at the last minute, you went and made a god-awful disaster, which kept you from getting into the vehicle.
Yes.
Now, there might have been something happening at that time where we just shouldn't have been on the road.
At that moment. And when we did go, we were able to have a safe journey.
Everything was free and
But
clear.
if we had been 5 to 10 minutes earlier, it would have been a totally different story.
Yeah.
Or I'm in a mad rush to get to a doctor's appointment and I'm running really late. And all of a sudden, there's a car in front of me and they're going the speed limit or less. I always thank God for that. To remind me I need to slow down and take my time. If I'm late, I'm late.
No appointment is worth dying for.
If I have to reschedule, I have to reschedule.
No schedule is worth dying for. No appointment is worth dying for. No limit is worth dying for. Remember that. There is nothing more important than living.
The one of the clear, definitive things that my spirit guide told me for years, over and over and over and over, was see the signs. They're all around me. Basically, open my eyes and see what is actually happening around me. Because everything, there's a sign, it's explaining, it's telling, it's giving you reasons. God will assist you and help you. You just really need to open your eyes and
Pay
see the
attention.
signs.
This is the spiritual moments have been brought to you by the Church of Love and Light, and you could see all of these
Articles.
posted on our website at www.cbezio.com.
And then on to our show's topic, which
Hopi
is,
Prophecy.
and today's show is brought to you by our Facebook page, Spiritual and Paranormal Experiences. So if you look up Spiritual and Paranormal Experiences, you're going to get this show, you're going to get all the information that we talked about, all the links, everything.
The Hopi prophecies are coming true. Here's why we should pay attention. Traditional elders have a warning for the Western world.
In 1990, I had an extraordinary, not me, but this the person that's writing this, opportunity to visit the home of Martin, don't know how to say the last name,
Risoma.
and Thomas, don't know how to say the last name,
Banyakaya.
Hopi elders in
Hotvilla.
the last traditional village of the Hopi
Mesa.
in the midst of a searingly dry and vast Arizona desert.
To Western eyes, this almost inhospitable land is where one nation, the Hopi, have survived without warfare for over 1,000 years.
With Hopi surviving for over 1,000 years without warfare, should we study their culture for how they live in peace, so that maybe we could bring peace to the world?
They must know something that we don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes
They've been a peaceful nation. They've always been a peaceful nation. The Indians have always had a profound...
like Jesus says, somebody slaps you in the face, offer them your other cheek.
The Indian Hopi, most Indians have always had a profound effect on me. I've always found them beautiful.
It's funny because if you start off the next sentence,
They've always been
profound,
part of my...
you use that word profound.
They've always been part of my psyche. I know in one life or another, I've been a medicine person or a shaman. I've been drawn to them. I've always been drawn to them.
Yeah. Like me, sitting bull, you squatting cow.
No, you're full of shiitake.
Oh, okay. There is a sense of profound freedom, clear and stark as a distant horizon. The Hopi are the prominent
preeminent dry farmers on Earth.
With global warming and drought, could we learn to be dry farmers also?
If our minds are open, we can learn from anybody to do anything.
Maybe we should actually...
Look at the Incas, look at the Mayas, look at the Aztecs.
They knew how to survive until disease and war came.
When they speak about the elemental realities, it is on the order of revelation. Thomas shared the vision of now famous Hopi prophecies that describe this time of Powhatan, of purification of social and ecological disruption that will eventually bring a time of lasting peace over the world's people.
Is it possible that the turbulent times we live now will bring about peace?
Yes, it can be. It all depends on which road we choose.
Isn't it funny that these stories that have been carried down from generation to generation for a millennia, like they've said, sounds very similar to stories that are being told in the Bible, in the Quran, in the Torah, all around the world, about a turbulent time that will bring about a great peace.
But it's also funny that you should mention that, because these stories that they talk about are all the same stories in the Bible, in the Torah, in the Quran, in all of our religious texts. They're in all of them. Not just one of them, in all of them. Every single holy scripture that has ever been written by man, and the Hopi have never written them down. It is all verbatim, by mouth, through generations.
And it's a similar story of a turbulent time that will bring about a great peace. People focus on the turbulent time.
And it has never changed.
What is this story about? It's about hope. It's about peace. It's about
love and understanding and cooperation and working together. And helping one another. And caring for one another and pulling together and pooling your resources.
You must break down the old ways to bring about the new. Like Betty Eady said, once you have to hear.
If I have a loaf of bread, I'm going to give half of it to my neighbor.
Yeah.
And if they have a jar of honey, they're going to give half of that jar of honey to me.
Or if you have 2 loaves of bread and you give 1 loaf of bread away, now you have room for something new.
You know, we all come
out
together.
Out with the old, in with the new. It also goes with feng shui. Open up your windows and get all that old stagnant air out and let in all of the new positive chi from, it doesn't matter what culture, what you want to talk about. You want to talk about feng shui, you want to talk about Hopi, you want to talk about the Israelites.
We need to stop with the greed.
That's
we need to stop with the gluttony and the polygamy and the all the bad things, and we need to look out for one another. We need to focus on life.
And I do believe...
And life lost.
And the majority of the population does. There's just a few bad apples. And we, as the majority, must make sure that they are no longer the ones in power and controlling everything for the majority. The minority should not have the say and rule over the majority. The majority should rule. And that will bring about peace. But before that...
we have our cat sneezing in the phone.
There's Monet joining in, and she's sneezing away.
But before that, we'll have to go through the eye of the storm. When I first heard Thomas's words, I received them mainly as stories, warnings about Western man's way of life that was out of balance with the Creator's law, a law that was once the very basis of our own Declaration of Independence.
Is it possible our modern times is out of balance with the Creator's laws?
Most definitely. We've really grown away from most of that.
Yeah. And
it's either one extreme or it's another. There is no happy balance.
We need to take a step back and prioritize.
It's either a Bible thumper or it's an extremist the other way. It's all corporate.
Yeah.
There's nothing in between.
Yeah. And there could be. There should be. There
should be a happy medium.
Yeah. And I believe that most people want that. It's just getting there.
But you
powers to be are going to struggle.
You're either extremely impoverished or you're filthy rotten rich.
Yeah. And they've scientifically proven through a lot of psychological paperwork that wealth does not bring happiness. Most of the happiest people on the planet that appreciate everything that they have are the poorest people on this planet. An indigenous group has discovered every year since...
disappeared.
Has disappeared every year since 1900.
What unique and immemorial relationship with existence has humanity expunged in the name of progress? The answers are starting to haunt civilization in ways we cannot measure. The Hopi had been trying to get their message to the United Nations for years. They would succeed in addressing the General Assembly but their voice would fall on deaf ears. Is it possible the reason that the Hopi message fell on deaf ears is because we as a human civilization must go through this process for our own spiritual evolution? Is it possible the Creator gave the Hopi these prophecies not so we can change what will happen, but prepare those who the message does not fall on deaf ears? Is our current times ever further evidence of the Hopi's prophecies? In these questions, is it possible the reason that the Hopi's message fell on deaf ears is because we as human civilizations must go through this process for our spiritual evolution? Right there, we must go through it for our own spiritual evolution. We are too young in order to understand. Most of us are too young to understand what the Hopis were trying to say. And we need to go through our own spiritual revolution in order to understand this. They are more in touch with their God. They are more in touch with the elements and the earth and what's around them. They can hear and see and take clues from the animals and take clues from the sky and take clues from everything around them and understand what's going on. They know when to move on, and they know when to harvest and reap and sow and hunt, and they don't over hunt, they don't overkill. They don't kill for sport. They don't kill just because to kill. They use the entire animal when they do something like that. And they don't destroy. They replenish, and they take what they use and only what they need. And that's one thing that we have still not learned what to do or how to do it yet. Take only what you need and give back. And that's something that we still need to learn how to do, is to give back.
We've been taking and taking and taking for a long, long time. It is time to give back.
Well, I was just explaining how, they go on a hunt. They only kill what they need to survive, and they use the entire animal. They don't hunt for sport, and they don't hunt just to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't hunt, overhunt. They don't hunt in the same place till everything in that area is dead.
Yeah, and then they don't have the resources they need. They make sure that they give back. They only take.
They only hunt for a year or two in one spot, and then they move on to other grounds to hunt.
So that area can
replenish itself. They give it a year or two.
Did you read the questions? Is it possible?
I'm going through it. I'm on, is it possible the Creator gave the Hopi these prophecies not so that we can change what will happen, but prepare those who the message does not fall on deaf ears? And is our current times even further evidence of Hopi prophecies?
I think that that the prophecies were given so that we there was a time to prepare for, and I do believe that we are living through. Maybe I don't know if it is the one that they were talking about, but we are definitely living through turbulent
I believe
times.
that we are maturing. I believe that we are getting to a point where they're not going to be falling on deaf ears, and that eventually we will listen, and hopefully, although we are getting close, it's not going to be too late.
Thomas raised his arms as if
brandishing an imaginary sword.
The potential sword of nuclear annihilation.
That scares me,
The nuclear sword of... And believe it or not, I did this before the Ukraine Russian thing. But the nuclear sword
of Damocles that hangs over all of
civilization in the planet. The Hopi had suffered mercifully at the hands of the U.S. government.
In 1906, they were even starved, so the outlaw traditional would sign a contract with Washington, D.C., all a clear violation of what would later become the Genocide Convention Implementation Act. They have been put in jails without trial in Alcatraz, had children kidnapped, and put in American schools like so many indigenous tribes around the world.
Forced
Acculturation
all over the planet have deprived native people of their lands, language, and very being. Immeasurable wisdom carried on for generations, knowledge of the land that
the dominant
society needs to turn to in this unprecedented climate change.
And they saved civilization as we know it. Indeed, it was the Hopi who warned the world of the world-shaking events, of which World War I and World War II were the first. Have we begun the period of the third and final world-shattering event, the separation from nature?
If Hopi prophecies have already come true, should we believe the prophecies that have not yet come true? Are we doomed if we do not heed the warnings?
I believe that we should definitely heed the warnings, especially because of those that have already come true.
But us who are in power, the only thing we can do is get the message out and hope that those.
But there are those of us who are not in power. There are hordes of us. There are so many people. By numbers. If we
like they're saying with the Ukrainian people, they're just coming right out of their homes and standing in front of the Russian soldiers and tanks.
Those that gather in numbers.
It's you're going to have to kill every single last one of us. And it's like, what do we do now? We're not here to slaughter everybody and everything. And there is power in numbers. Remember that.
The elders believe that if the U.S. government continues to impose its jurisdiction and its way of life, not only will traditional Hopi way of life and a covenant with the Creator be compromised, but mankind's very survival will be jeopardized. Why can't we just leave these people alone?
Yeah.
Why do we have to force our culture on them?
And why do we have to force our culture on anybody?
This is true. That's what I'm saying. Why do we
not
have to
just
force...
the indigenous people of this country, but anywhere.
Indigenous people of any country.
Yeah. I've been saying that about Iraq, Afghanistan, and the Middle East for the last 20 plus years.
Mining at Black Mesa, just north of the Hopi Reservation, has extracted much of the uranium that was used to fuel U.S. ICBM's intercontinental ballistic missiles during the Cold War. Hopi elders knew that the coal and uranium, if extracted, would upset the balance of the earth. Draining the aquifer used for mining affected the rotation of the earth.
Do you believe that the large amounts of mining could upset the balance of the earth?
Well, if you take a large quantity of something out of somewhere, it's going to make things unbalanced.
It's just simple physics.
If you take the inside of an orange out of an orange, does it weigh the same?
Mm-hmm. You wonder why Manhattan is sinking. Well, Manhattan is an island.
And you put too much land, build on it. You put too much weight on it.
It is sinking. It's what happens.
The Earth's crust is floating. Is mine yours?
Well, no, I just wanted to say that we live on this earth. It's time for us to better understand. We understood it at one time. It's time for us to re-understand it and live with the earth. Not live on the earth and take it advantage.
No, it's time for us to pay attention.
Yeah. We can survive, we can thrive, as long as we respect what is Earth's way.
Is the inexorable drought out west partly due to the drying up of the vast underground body of water? The drought of 1996 was the worst in memory, so much so that the Hopi did not bother to plant corn, their staple crop. At the time when deserts and floods and fires are spreading all over the world, is it worth paying attention to the teachings of the Earth's preeminent dry farmers?
Caretakers is at the center of the native peoples' concerns of the millennia. They hold the universe in their hands, as the elders explain.
But today they have lost the power to fulfill their true role. Native title to land was based, according to Hopi, on caretaking. Their home was not based on conquest. And they knew that any empire built on conquest must inevitably crumble.
That is what we are seeing. Is that what we are seeing today? True title was implemented by forces that give life. Do you believe that empires built on conquest will crumble?
It always has.
It always has. It is.
As we can plainly see today, America and the world are reaping the results of conquest, extraction of the land, its first peoples, and other species on whom we depend for our survival. The results will be played out in our lifetime, in a world where rulerships can be seized by the strongest army. Fulfillment of our trust as caretakers requires that we learn how to place wisdom and power. A speaker for the Hopi has said, Hopi are perhaps the only tribe never to have resigned a treaty with the dominant power. The U.S., the very coal that lay under Hopi and Navajo Nine land was being dug up. However, how many people in our crowded cities realize that much of their electricity and economy ventures depend on the exhaustion of finite resources that were held together by an increasingly tenuous ecological web. Now with the heat dome over the West and the pandemic, many more are about to find out.
Is it possible that this was destined to happen, or were we able to course correct? And if so, do you think it's too late now to course correct?
It's not too late.
It's
But we
never
have
too
to
late.
learn-
There's always
There's
hope.
a reason for everything. Yes, there's always hope. And that word is hope. Hopi. And if we could just listen, if we could learn to listen
I like how you said
and
that.
understand that. And there's a reason for everything. We put these people on a reservation. And the reason we put these other people on a reservation is because we were greedy and we wanted the land.
We wanted the land.
And now we want the land that they're on because it's full of resources that we think that we need.
Because we we basically
Overused the land that we were on.
Yeah. The very economic structure of our times was based on commercial domination over
Aboriginal people.
all over the globe. The tens of millions of gallons of water used to slurry coal came from the Navajo aquifer.
The Ogala Aquifer is not far away, stretching from New Mexico all the way to South Dakota, but it has also been drying up with imponderable repercussions for the future of agriculture and the entire breadbasket of America.
How long will it be before America has famines? Another Dust Bowl. The Hopi Prophecies state that we are about to enter the fifth world.
The time of plenty, when there was enough food and water and resources for everyone, is coming to an end precisely because governments around the world have abrogated native title, and the devastation unfolding could be incalculable.
Do you believe that the time of plenty is over? I've been saying this for at least 15, 20 years. The time of plenty is over.
I don't believe the time of plenty has to
I
be
think the
over.
golden age of the time of plenty, where you could just go and get what you want when you want it, if you had enough money, is over.
I don't believe the time of plenty has to be over. I believe the time of intelligence needs to start.
The time of
The
understanding.
time of ignorance needs to end.
Yeah. The time of greed.
Yes. The time of
And
gluttony.
domination.
The time of domination. The time of...
Gluttony needs to end.
Few elders will be left to teach anyone how to talk to the clouds, or what it means in terms of geophysicists and earth changes ahead. When I first heard about the prophecies face to face with the elders who were trying to get to the world to listen, I was bewildered. I was told people on the coast will have to move inland. I could not fathom the full extent of what they were saying. Their thoughts were clairvoyant, and their prophecies are manifesting worldwide.
Many people came to the Southwest. Some live in fine houses. Immigrants from other states who don't fully understand what the land has to teach.
Many decide to build their dream house with no understanding of the water tables or reservoirs. They may live in a fancy home and drive the newest cars, but in a very crucial way they have only seen the surface of the implicate order that have not lifted the hood of what the land and its first peoples have to tell them.
Do you think the Hopi Prophecies predicted the time that we are currently living?
Yes.
Do you think that this is a cycle? We are prone to repeat ourselves?
Yes, it's always a cycle.
And just like with karma, we can learn to correct it.
It's not that we're going to learn to correct it, it's that the earth is going to correct it. And if we survive
whether we like it or
if we
not
survive it,
is the
story.
Yeah.
Whether we can weather the storm is the story. And
we will weather the storm. The earth will
A few
survive.
of us will weather the storm.
Yes.
The earth will survive.
And
whether those that come out on the other end will understand it and not repeat it remains to be seen.
a lot will be lost. And wonder why we have not, in so long that we've been on this planet, advanced, is because we are doomed to be repeating the same mistakes over and over and not learning from the past. It is time to not repeat the same mistakes over and over. And that comes with intelligence. That comes with knowledge. That comes with acceptance that things are the way they are and you cannot change it. You cannot artificially manifest a mansion in an aquifer without draining the aquifer, then that turns the whole entire
A
area
lot
to,
of our states, like Arizona, are living off of fossil water.
that will run out.
Las Vegas is fossil water.
It will run out. It will run out. They knew it.
And what happens when you have...
It's like the...
What happens when those aquifers run out? Not only do you have no water, but you have a hollow cavern.
Yeah.
What happens when those caverns collapse?
Where are those people going? Where are
Into
they
the
migrating?
earth, down into the earth. Everything collapses.
Or they migrate out. To where, though? I mean, it's like the work shortages now. We have known for 30 years that the baby boomers were going to end up retiring. They didn't have the X factor of a pandemic, would actually have a mass exodus of the workforce. But we did nothing to prepare for the mass exodus that was eventually to come. We kept kicking the ball down the road, 1 quarter, 1 profit, 1 bonus, kicking the ball down the road, kicking the ball, and here we are today. We do not have enough workers. We do not have enough truckers to bring things. And this has to do
Now with the pandemic.
partially with the pandemic, but it also has to do with our aging population and those that are skilled and trained leaving the workforce, and we do not have trained, skilled people to pick up the ball and carry it. We did not do nothing about it.
Today, many elders are dying due to the virus. Languages are fading away, and with them knowledge, or rather a far-reaching wisdom about how the world actually works. This is far more radical than what science understands and what the dominant society is trying to find with the search for the particles and black holes.
Is the knowledge of the Hopi elders more important than the scientific discoveries of today?
In order to understand the future, we need to understand the past. And in order to understand the past, we need our elders. We need our past to be explained to us in what is already known so that we can try to decipher what's already been taken away from us.
Yeah, we can't be ignorant of the knowledge of the past just for the
We need to absorb
exploration and
what's
discovery
there
of the
already that can be told to us, to understand it. And then we can try to figure out what's already been lost.
Native elders will ask, how will that knowledge of quantum mechanics serve us when we don't even know how to live?
Exactly. There was a time when NASA scientists were asking Hopi elders about what they could share about the Earth's changes.
Does it surprise you that the government would be interested in what the Hopi had to say? and what they have to say about the future? Is it possible that the government knows something about the Hopi prophecies that they're not sharing with the rest of us?
It doesn't surprise me a bit. Now we know the earth changes are happening. There is precisely nothing that we will be able to do except go through the storm. Civilization has unleashed a monster beyond the wildest dreams of Dr. Frankenstein.
The prophecies are daunting. They are not mystical and numerous. They are about an opening of an entirely novel order of being in relationship to our planet Earth.
An ancient metaphysicist with a clear plumb line to the soil was being discredited when Arizona Public Service imposed water, sewer, and electric lines on a people who wished to maintain their sovereignty and who had no desire to pay taxes or become federal subjects as we have all become.
An entire way of living entrenched in order of coherence our mechanical world cannot fathom was coming unglued. The entire life force of the earth was now in question. Is it possible our modern way of life and disconnect with the planet is causing these earth changes?
Definitely.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
Today's forces are being unleashed that will challenge the very foundations of society. The Hopi somehow foresaw the talking cobwebs and flying villages and even the house of Micah, the UN generations before these things came into being.
Could we learn from the Hopi and what they foresaw for a course correction?
Knowledge that issued from a time before the computer and pollution that is killing clarity in life itself. I thought of the strength of the traditional elders years ago who were able to run dozens of miles away.
A dozen miles a day.
Miles a day, yeah.
Yes. This is Spiritual Paranormal Experiences. I'm Chuck.
I'm Jen.
And still to come on this episode, Psychic Patterns of the Mind.
Human family as a balancing influence.
And people have suffered invasions of their land.
And
just to let you know that www.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Wow. We don't edit this out. We do this live, folks, even though it goes and it airs every Friday, a new episode. www.cbezio.com has been revamped. Check out the new improved website. Coming soon will be a new improved psychic. Bless you.
Thank you.
A new improved psychic couple. That's being updated right now. Thanks to me. I do the updating.
All right. Much like the Tahamura of Copper Canyon in northern Mexico, I thought of the pre-science that came before computer models that so much of our society is beholden to. I thought of the crops the Hopi grew in near impossible conditions. Thanks to their prayers and songs, science can dismiss these prophecies as mere superstition, as mere coincidence that cannot be proved or disproved.
Do you believe that prayers and songs assisted Hopi grow crops in hostile conditions?
Yes.
Yeah,
prayer and song. You sing to your plants and they grow. They
science
thrive.
has proven
they
that.
love it.
Scientists have proven
a little bit of water and TLC and your plants thrive.
You talk to your plants, you give them attention, and they thrive. Just like animals. Treat them like the living entities that they are, and you will see them.
But if you treat them like property, they shrivel. They don't thrive.
If you abuse them, any living thing should be treated with respect. But the Hopi,
the psychic pattern of the mind lives connected to its counterpart, the events of the world that unfolds in the psychic realm.
Is it possible that the mind is connecting to the psychic realm?
To the physical realm.
A physical realm.
Yes, like I said, the mind. If you treat something with respect, if you treat something with equality with the reason of it being a creature within itself or with another entity of its own, and it's giving of itself to you, you give of yourself to it, they thrive.
Yeah.
If you don't...
And we'll get more into this in another episode when we talk about energies and energy beings. But you got to remember, we are energy beings. There is an energy force that is coming from us.
And like we said earlier with Gaia.
Aura.
Gaia is an energy planet. The things that live on Gaia
have energies.
Are energy.
An exchange of energies, an exchange of positivity.
Of appreciation. An exchange of love.
We can see positivity.
An exchange of gratitude.
We can see positivity working right in front of us. The
next time you go outside, thank a tree for its shade.
Yeah, its beauty. What it does, it provides housing for many species. But this experiment I want to talk about with water, and you talking positive to water, and then
water is our filter,
and you can actually see the positivity being created in the crystals. They have done these experiments, and it's been proven over and over and over. You talk positive to certain water, and you freeze it, and the beautiful crystals form. And then you talk negative and say horrible things, or bombard them with over-sensory bombardment of stuff, and see how they freeze. They freeze horribly looking, mutated crystal-like. You can see the positivity taking shape in this form. You can see the energies of positivity being taken shape in water when you freeze it. And it works. This is why I'm such a believer in energies and the transformation of energies.
The power of positivity.
Yeah.
Last time I saw the Hopi Mesa, I felt an ancient metaphysics ebbing in the global drain. No discoveries by nuclear researchers at the CERN facility could match the intrinsic mindfulness of the elders. We face a more radical change in civilization than has ever occurred in human time frame. The elders have warned us that the dominant society, so very bent on subjugation and extraction of resources, has stirred the underground serpent, which is bound to wreak future military and ecological havoc.
What is meant by stirring the underground serpent? Could it mean the lava flow? Could it mean...
It could mean a lot of different things. It's imbalance.
Yeah. The underground serpent.
The electromechanical flow of the planet.
The how lava does flow. And it's
the electromechanical flow of the planet.
Yeah.
Already the signs are here. We need to strengthen ourselves by running and taking cold baths, say the elders. With the heat of the world now upon us, that will be a welcome respite for what we have unleashed on the world.
I've lost my place.
Is the heat of the world another way of saying global warming?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Traditional elders have been locked in a battle with progressives for decades now. Progressives who subscribe to the police, state, and the coal mines and the machinations of the dominant society. The traditional elders emphasize that the contest today is between those who subscribe to such prejudice and those who recognize the human family as a balancing influence within nature. If the mentality that rules the modern world wins, and the true caretakers of land and life lose charge of their trust, the human sojourn in the world will come to a painful conclusion, along with almost every other life form.
Is it possible that Hopi predicted the end of life on Earth because of population and
pollution,
man-made global climate change? That's what their prophecy is basically saying. It is a warning. We can course correct. We can make modifications and changes, and change
and it's
is
not
difficult
the end
at
of
times.
life on Earth. It's the end of life that we, as we know it,
as we
as
experienced it.
we've come accustomed to.
Yeah. But if the wisdom of the ancient world prevails, our peaceful tenure could last indefinitely. It is time humanity chooses either the path of annihilation or the path of everlasting life. Based on current events, what is winning out? Annihilation or everlasting life? Is it possible we need to go through these changes in order to have everlasting life? I personally believe that we have to go through these changes. We need these changes. We learn, we experience, we gain knowledge, and then we adapt. Humans are adaptable. Change is difficult, but we are adaptable and we will adapt, just like we are adapting to living with life with the pandemic. Now, think back. When was there another time where there was an invader of a land and the prospect of a world war? At the same time, there was a recession that went into a depression that also was dealing with a pandemic. Oh, I'm not talking about current events. I'm talking about the Spanish flu, World War I, Germany. We've been here, done that, survived it. We know how to get through it. We know how they survived it. It brought about an everlasting 80 years of peace. Do we need to go through this time? Apparently we do, because we have gotten so far off track. But once we get back on track, we're going to have everlasting life. Not long ago, Davy, an elder of the Amazon, whose people have suffered invasions of their land, killing by foreign gold miners, and unprecedented fires, told the world, whatever is happening to us will happen to you. Listening, respecting, and acting on the wisdom of the first people of the world may save civilization. The elders have been right all along. The emergency is here. It has arrived. The time to act is now. What do you think about the Hopi prophecies? Are the prophecies coming true? And if so, is there time to do something about them? Or has the tipping point passed? I think the tipping point has passed. Change is upon us. And basically we need to go with the flow. And this was all based on an article. And the article is linked up on our website. New episodes of Spiritual and Paranormal Experiences are posted to our website every Friday. And we're going to go into predictions and prophecies. But I usually do that with Jen. She's not here right now. So I'll go into some other messages. The live psychic readings with the psychic couple, Chuck and Jen, did a special spiritual and paranormal experiences. On February 25th, 2002, the psychic couple had a special show on a special day and time, and we did not get through all of the reading requests. So if so, we are going to be doing another show that will dive right into all of those predictions and prophecies, and we will be doing that shortly. But predictions and prophecies, superstars in the news. Prince William, he's in the news. The royals have been suffering from COVID. This year is going to definitely be health for the royals will be in the news. Another one, will Adele extend her tour to 2023? Now, don't forget, I put this show together about 2 months ago, and at this point, Adele was already scheduled in Las Vegas, and was planning on her show. Now she's postponed it, and now the question is, will it be extended into 2023? I do believe so. Eventually, she's going to get her act together, and her show is going to be awesome. But it's going to take a little while to get it together. Will Smith, interesting. He's famous for his music. He's famous for his acting, and now he has written a best-selling novel, and that's what I was going to talk about. But that just broke this week. Will Smith and his novel. Will Smith will be in the news this year. So will Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran will be having a big year.
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran, sorry. We'll be having a big year. Music, everything. We're with the predictions and prophecies, honey.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so warm yourself up. I'll go back. I skipped past it, so you could be a part of it. Predictions and prophecies is brought to you by the Psychic Couple. The Psychic Couple at thepsychiccouple.com. That's psychiccouple.com. We do a live psychic reading show on Tuesdays from 7 to 8. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we are on Twitter. So go to our website, psychiccouple.com, and you check us out. We ask your one question, and these are samples of the one questions that that people ask, and we go through them. Okay, so this is Mark. He was born on October 27th. His question is romance. My girlfriend is very clingy. Will she ever stop? And will we stay together? I think the clingy part is that she's insecure. When she becomes a little more secure, she'll be less clingy. The big question is how much are you going to be able to take?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Is it all depends on how much you'll be able to take. She'll stay with you. You will stay together as long as you can tolerate it. And the more security you give her, the less clingy she will become.
Okay, next question is Darlene from Boulder, Colorado. I keep finding pennies. Is this a divine message? If so, what could it be? Could it be from my mom?
Definitely. They are a divine message. It's either angels or it's somebody from beyond. So they could definitely be from your mom.
Yeah, I do believe it.
And if you get that inkling, if you get that feeling, then yes, it is from your mom. Sometimes it's accompanied by her perfume,
yeah,
or a familiar smell.
And you will get a combination. You will get a smell. You'll hear something. You'll have a thought about your mother. Then all of a sudden, there's a penny.
Yep.
That's how you're going to recognize that penny is from
That's
your
how
mother.
you know it's from her.
Okay, the next one is Grace. She was born on June 4th. She's from South Carolina. Do you see any health concerns for me this year? I do see a little bit of COVID in the fall. She's already had it once. She's going to get it again, but it won't be that bad. It'll be no worse than a cold.
A cold. I was going to say cold. I didn't see COVID again, but I saw like a flu or some kind of
something.
bug.
She'll be fine. It's just that she's going to be not feeling all that great.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah. Now, we didn't get through our spiritual and paranormal readings, and I have them all listed here. Do you want to go through them now?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Dawn, born on January 15th. And don't forget, I forgot to ask the question of...
Born when?
January 15th.
Alright.
And I forgot to ask the question of their town, their state, and their country. So it's not here.
Right.
And this is a paranormal question. Did I grow up in a haunted house?
Yes, friendlies though. They weren't evil. They weren't mischievous or wanting to cause you harm. They watched over you, especially as a young child.
No, you're not. You're not crazy. Don't think you are.
I grew up in a haunted house. My house here that we live in now had an Indian. They used to watch over us.
Speaking of that, have you seen the Indians since we redid the whole entire?
No.
Neither have I.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Since we had a house fire, we redid.
But then again, we haven't had children around.
Well, maybe you brought about with children, so I don't know. Next question is from Ricky, born on January 17th. It's a spiritual question, and this question is, what is the worst sin?
What is the worst sin?
Yep.
Murder.
I think the worst sin is the sin that you sin against yourself.
That too.
A murder is you have done.
When you take the life of an innocent.
Anytime you do anything wrong, you hurt yourself.
I'm sorry, but when you go after an innocent, that's the worst sin.
Oh yeah.
When you destroy the life of an innocent.
When you karma will come back too.
When you destroy the life of an innocent, that is the worst sin.
Next question is...
or not even murder, but when you destroy the life of an innocent, that is the worst sin. Whether it be a child or an adult, don't matter. When you destroy the life of an innocent, that is the worst sin.
Yeah.
When you take advantage of, or you torment, or you destroy the life of an innocent, that is the worst sin.
Yes. But I believe that the only sin is the sin that you do.
Well, you're doing it against yourself as well.
Yeah.
So it's always against yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All sins are against yourself.
And you
have to live with that.
You will pay the price.
You ultimately have to live with that. But the worst sin that can be committed is a sin against an innocent.
Next question is Toa. Born on April 17th. That's Danny's birthday, our nephew. Paranormal. I don't believe in the paranormal. Why do I keep seeing and hearing my dead wife?
Because she's trying to send you a message and let you know that she's okay.
I think, Toa, that's probably time that you do believe in the paranormal.
You keep seeing and hearing her because she's trying to send you a message.
No, you're not crazy.
The paranormal does exist. She's trying to tell you that the paranormal exists and there is something after death and you don't need to be afraid. And that she's waiting for you.
The next question is Bobby, born on February 25th, and it's a paranormal question.
Fellow Aquarian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's in the last week of February. It's not Aquarian, it's Pisces.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Pisces. Does my husband...
Cusp of Aquarian.
Huh? Yes.
Cusp of Aquarius.
Does my husband have anything to say to me now that I have started dating again since his death?
He's very happy for you. He's glad that you have found that you've started to live your life again.
Release the guilt that you have for dating. You deserve it. You are alive. Like Jennifer has always said, living is for the living and the dead is for the dead.
He would want you to give the love that you had for him for somebody else. He knows that you will always carry him in your heart. And he knows that he will always be there. But he also knows that you are still a living person that has needs. And you need to be held and comforted. And he knows that no matter what happens, and he knows that you know that he'll always be there with you and waiting for you.
But that doesn't mean that everybody
That doesn't mean that you need to stop living now.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that a widow or a widower has to go out immediately and find
love
somebody else.
But your grieving time is over. Go live your life.
Yes, if your grieving time is over and you're living your life and you've decided and chosen to live single, that's perfectly fine.
Fine as well. But in your case, you want a date, and he's fine with that.
Yeah, he's fine with that. Remember, they see and know all, and you're trying to keep and carry on a human emotion.
You're trying
that
to
is
keep
dead.
a torch burning for somebody who's no longer on this planet, and he don't want you to do that.
The next question is from Carl, born on January 9th. It's paranormal. Will the government ever confirm we have been and continue to be visited by extraterrestrials?
No, not in our lifetime.
I don't know which government he's talking about. It's probably the United States. I don't think they'll ever come out and say outright that we have been and we know, and here's the evidence of.
The only way that they're going to say or acknowledge alien visitation is if there's one that lands on the United States front lawn.
How about if extraterrestrials come in and stop Putin?
There you go.
Maybe it's time for alien intervention. What do you think? Okay, the next one is Karen. She's born on August 14th, and it's paranormal. Why are people so afraid of talking boards?
Because they can be dangerous. If you don't have the right amount of people, which is at least 3, to open and close, you can leave the door open and things can come through that you don't want to have come through. And people get spooked when they're in the middle of talking to something, and they run and they throw the board and they leave the board and they never say goodbye. You always must say goodbye, no matter what's happening. You say goodbye and close the door.
It's basically.
You can burn the board afterwards. It's simple, but you must say goodbye. If you don't close that door, you leave it open, and you leave it open for the people that were playing with the board.
And we fundamentally do the same thing with the show. We open with the tools of protection and a prayer, and we close with a prayer. And it is the same thing. It is, but when it comes to talking boards, I'm sorry.
It's a tool. It's a
tool. I
tool.
have to continuously have to say that it is cardboard and ink or wood. The power it beholds is the power that you have given it.
It's like a scalpel. A scalpel in the hand of the right person can do miracles. And the scalpel in the hand of the wrong person can do treacherous things.
And a scalpel sitting on
a table is minute. It
does nothing.
It's blunt.
So, yeah, some people will see a talking board.
And the scalpel in the hands of a child,
dangerous.
That will let you know. That's what a Ouija board is. That's what a talking board is.
Next question is Darren, born on April 13th. Paranormal. I am a Bigfoot hunter. Will I ever get the proof needed to prove they exist?
You won't get the proof that you need to prove that they exist to the world, but you will get the proof that you need to prove that they exist to you.
Yes. Evidence is coming out.
You will see, you will smell, and you will be able to experience Bigfoot up close and personal. But you will never get the evidence that you need to prove it to the world.
Oh yeah, and prove it to others. There will be, eventually there will be, it will be no longer a cryptoid.
Eventually it'll be proven, but it won't be you, my dear.
Adam, born on May 26th. Oh, that's Mackenzie, our daughter's birthday. Paranormal. I'm looking for a new home, but I'm afraid of buying a haunted house. How can I tell if a house is haunted?
That's simple, my dear. Look for other life in the house. When you're going through these houses and you're looking at the houses and you find a house you like, look for spiders, cobwebs, mouse, squirrel, any kind of droppings, any kind of nuts, any kind of seeds left in corners, closets, shelves, stuff that you gotta clean up, sweep out, stuff like any signs of life. If there's other life living in the house, then you can live in the house. If there's no life living in the house, if there's cold spots in the house, if you get this pit, this feeling in your stomach, don't buy it.
I was gonna say pit in your stomach. That goes back to how we
And walk
started
through
this.
every room. Walk through every room, walk through the cellar, go in the attic, go everywhere. If you can't find life, don't buy it.
And like I was saying at the
Be
beginning
thorough.
of this episode, the signs of the angels, a pit in your stomach. Look at the signs; they're all around you.
Feel.
God will
Use your
assist you.
other senses.
I like
Feel
to,
the hair on your arms and the hair on your neck. If it stands up, don't buy
I
it.
like to. One of the things that can really enhance all of your senses is to just close your eyes. Close your eyes.
And take a minute. Listen, feel, hear. Use your other
Smell.
senses.
Is your stomach telling you something? Is your heart telling you something?
You smell something rotten?
Do you all of a sudden get the urge to run away? Then
You wanna
do
vomit?
it. Then do it. But if you're getting the sense of peace,
And tranquility and home,
yeah.
then that's a good sign. If
And,
you find a penny or a coin, that's a good sign.
and this is not paranormal; it's psychic. But she'll find a house. She'll be very happy.
Yeah, they'll find a house.
Yeah. Well, Adam's asking this question, but I said
That's what I said.
I said
He'll find a house.
Yeah, but she, meaning his wife, I think he's more concerned that his wife is going to be, this is haunted, this is haunted, this is haunted, this is haunted. And that's why I meant she. Because she will find a house that you both will be
No, I
happy
think
with.
it's his concern.
No, I know it's his concern. They both share it. But it's every house they go to, the wife is so paranoid that it's haunted, she just rejects it.
As long as there's something else living in the house, I know you don't necessarily want to buy a house that's infested with rats, but you do want to buy a house that's got something else living in it.
You all could always get rid of the rats. You need to know.
You can always get rid of the rats or the spiders or the
Oh, and by the way, the psychic couple does
silverfish.
private readings. And if you would like to know natural ways which are safe for your cats and your dogs and yourself, that will actually get rid of like rodents and different things like that, or how to get rid of fleas and ticks, hey, psychiccouple.com does psychic readings. Hey, and we offer some good advice for once in a while on holistic healings and natural ways of doing things.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do, we do, we do. On to the next question. Wanda, August 27th, she was born. This is a spiritual question. I need a miracle. Will I get my miracle?
Well, Wanda, first of all, you have to ask the right question and you have to ask the right deity for it.
Yeah. And Wanda, you have to feel that you really deserve the miracle. Release the guilt that you're holding. Once you do that,
You have to do penance.
the miracle will come naturally. It's trying, but you are kind of blocking it by
You don't think
a
you
guilt
deserve
you're
it.
holding.
You don't think you deserve it.
Next question is from Gail, born on May 12th. It's a spiritual question. I'm not going to church. Is that a sin?
No.
Do you believe in God? Do you believe in the divine? Do you believe in the creator? Do you believe in a higher power?
Do you pray?
Are you a good person? Do you send positivity out into the world?
If all these questions are yes, then it doesn't matter if you go to church or not. Church is just a building. Yes, they are beautiful. Yes, they are erected in His name. Yes, they are a place to go to worship. Yes, they are holy ground. And you are safe if you go to church from any kind of negative energy or entity.
Remember,
But
the church
You
is...
do not have to go to church to be a holy person,
Yes.
to be graced by God.
It sets up a visual.
A frame of mind.
And then you
It
hear
puts
it.
you into that frame of mind.
And you can do that anywhere. And Jesus said it. When two or more gather in my name, there shall I be. You don't need a church. You don't need the singing. You don't need the traditions and the rituals.
All you need is a quiet room and a candle.
But if you can't get there, then go to church. If you can't get there, sing. If you can't get there, do the traditions. Do the rituals.
Do it your own way. But do it somehow.
Do it. Yes. Next one is Hanson, born on July 23rd. Paranormal question.
Swedish name.
Hanson. Hanson. Okay, my family thinks I'm crazy because I believe in astrology.
That's okay. My family thinks we're crazy too.
Well, it's because you are.
Thank you.
But that's a whole nother kind
I
of crazy.
appreciate it.
That's a whole nother kind of crazy. How can I convince him that it is a resource to be believed?
Well, it takes a lot of time.
As
It takes a lot of talking.
Seeing is believing.
Yep, exactly.
You know what? A lot of people
You
were
do
just
astrology, so I'll let you take it.
like, a lot of people were like, and there'd be a lot of times, and I'll be like, well, what was your birthday again? Oh, well, that explains blah, 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 and this is what's going to happen. Because this is you.
Your birth sign.
Yes, and this is
Your ruling planet.
Yeah. And seeing is believing. Yeah, do they believe you the first, second, third time? Is it going to take years and years and years?
It could.
It could. And will there always be the non-believers?
Yep.
Yeah, there will always be the non-believers, but then there'll be the ones that will be scratching their head and saying they don't believe, but going, how does he know these things?
And then there'll be ones that are behind everybody else's back and asking you questions.
Oh, definitely.
They're out front to everybody's face, non-believers, but behind the closed doors, they are really true believers, and they want to pick your mind.
But keep their privacy, keep their secrets.
Yes, keep their secrets.
Because it's their journey. You are, like astrology, you are a resource.
And like a priest, you keep their trust. Always.
Leo. This is probably where me and Jennifer's going to disagree on. Born on January 7th. This is a paranormal question. I think it also is on the verge of being spiritual. Are demons real?
Yes.
And are they after me?
Not particularly after you, but...
You're attracting negative energies?
Yes.
I believe in negative energies, not so much a demon as characterized in some
biblical stories,
glorified sense, but negative entities exist, and you're
I feel a shadow with him,
and he has to rid himself of that, and he can do that with
he's got a lot of guilt.
There's a lot of guilt today. Surround yourself with the white light of the Holy Spirit. Bring only positive, influential energies, and reflect back all of the negative energies that are being sent back. The one thing that a negative energy or entity
and here's something you can do too.
They cannot look at themselves and see the negativity. And if you laugh in the face, if you laugh in their face, then they can't stand that. Fear is what they feed on.
And whatever religion you are, Leo, get yourself blessed.
Yes. Next question is Nancy. She's born. She is an Aquarian, born on February 8th. This is spiritual. I was raised to be charitable, not to accept charity. I'm having a hard time. Is getting help charity? No.
Getting help is not necessarily charity, but in a way it is, because there are those that want to help
if
others.
You really need it, if you really truly
need it. Can you
need
let me finish?
Yeah, I will, but if you need it, get it.
Yes.
But then give back.
And when you don't need it, give back. But at the same time, charity is there for those that need it. But charity is given by those who want to give. You are helping those who want to give. Help those who need it.
And she needs help.
Yes.
And just like the Hopi said, if you take, you give back. Are you finished?
That's what I wanted to say.
Oh, okay.
I'm a charitable person too, and I have had to humble myself and accept charity.
Yes.
But in times of plenitude, I have given back. If not in food and goods, by my person,
yes.
I have given back.
And be humble and allow me to speak now.
All right. Speak.
Oh, I was telling you a message telepathically, so I hope you got it. Okay, going on to the next question. Going on to the next question. Eric, on May 23rd, spiritual. Will America burn because it's lost its way? America has a lot of issues. I will not deny that. But I do believe in the founding, the foundation of America is sound. And I do believe that a restructuring or a rebuilding of America is occurring. Will it burn like in the biblical sense? I don't foresee that coming, Eric. You don't have anything to worry about that. Next question is May, born on July 22nd. Oh, another one of my daughter's birthdays. Paranormal. How can I tell if I am a time traveler? I see visions of the future like it is a past life. How can the future be a past life? Well, we in our slavery to our senses are subject to, or basically enslaved by our senses. And we have the illusion that time is traveling in a linear state. It's not. The past, the present, and the future is all occurring in the now. What I think what you are foreseeing is you are astral traveling in the astral plane, and you are having visions of the future. It's not of a past life. It is of you are traveling to one possible future in the multiverse. And it's through astral travel. And that's where the spirits travel and roam. We do it while we are incarnated on this earth. We do it while we are not. And we pass over onto the other side. A lot of communication and travel and things happen in the astral plane. And I believe that is what is happening in your case. The next question is from Nina, born on June 30th. It's paranormal. How can I help a ghost cross over?
Tell them it's time to cross over, that they've already died.
You're dead, man. You died. Your life, as you know it, is over. It's time.
You're no longer a human body. You no longer have a body. You are a ghost. It is time to move on.
Let go of the material things that are holding you to this plane and go to your real home where you will be safe.
It's time to go
happy,
home to God.
And loved and at
go home
peace.
To your family.
Because nothing that is holding you here still is worth what you are sacrificing by not going home. Tell them that. Just plain outright.
Go home to your eternal life.
Next one is from Mel, born on August 2nd. Paranormal. How can I turn on the ability to see paranormal activity when you turn it off? Okay. Ask for it. It won't happen overnight. Just like when you ask for it to turn it off.
It'll come back gradually.
It will come back gradually. It won't come back like snap of a finger. But
my sister-in-law did the same thing. So did my brother-in-law.
Yeah, I did it too, and our daughter did it too. And it's like
it scared them when they were younger. They didn't understand what it was.
A blind man being blind, all of a sudden seeing. It's startling. But it's like a blind man that's starting to be able to see. He sees shadows. Then he starts to see some colors. Then he sees lights. Then he's actually seeing shapes. And it happens in a slow progression. But I'm telling you, once you ask for it back, you got it back. And you will get it back, and you'll get it back twofold.
Yeah, but it comes in graduals. It's not going to be like, hey, I'm there. How you doing?
Yeah, it's not going to be a slap in the face.
That's not going to be like Beetlejuice.
Okay. Well, we kind of answered Laura's question in the beginning of the show, but it's Laura, born on October 9th. This is a spiritual question. How do you recognize an angel?
There's lots of ways to recognize an angel. You'll find feathers. You'll find pennies. You'll find, you'll hear wings flapping.
I know, Laura. Listen to the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
We talk all about it. Dave, born on September 4th, paranormal. I keep having a reoccurring dream about dying. Why? I do dream interpretation, so let me take this one. Dying is a symbolization of death and renewal. Okay? Something in your life is leaving and something in your life is beginning. And you are trying to hold on to the old and resisting the new. The moment you give up the old and you take in the new...
It's a new chapter, babe.
Yeah, it's a new chapter. So close the chapter that is done and over with and move on to the next chapter. Like I've been saying throughout this whole entire show, change is difficult, but change is necessary. And in hindsight...
And a lot of times change is very good.
Yes. In hindsight,
you may resist it, you may not want it at first, but in this day and age, with all the crap that we got going on, change is good.
Is a crap a paranormal or a spiritual terminology?
Both.
Oh, okay. Corey, born on May 27th. Here's a spiritual question. What gospel is the most accurate?
All of them. And
none of them. Yes. The truth is within the text
of the Bible, of the Torah,
the Quran.
Of the Quran. You gotta pick and choose, and you gotta...
What resonates? Let's go back to that gut feeling. What really... Wait a minute. That don't sound right. Oh, wait a minute. That is right. Your spirit recognizes the truth. So recognize the symbols. Right. Recognize the signs. God's here to help.
They're stories. They're all stories there for us to know and learn and understand and get a gist of what happened.
Barry has a question. He's born on June 12th. It's paranormal. Will we ever be able to talk to the dead like we use a phone? I do believe that we're going to be able to find frequencies in which communication with other entities, and including those...
Well, they already have a talking box.
I know, but this technology is going to... it will not only be the dead. It will be extraterrestrials, interdimensionals. It will be positive entities, negative entities.
In other words, you're going to be able to pick it up and you won't know what the heck you're talking to.
Yes. Well, you will if you pick it up and your mother's on the phone and you're talking to your mother. You're going to be able to recognize your mother. If you get a pit in your stomach that says, this isn't my mother, then it's not your mother.
Yeah.
But I think, now this is a psychic prediction. Our brains have a certain brainwave. This will be documented prior to death.
You think it'll be something that we have in our brains that will allow us to talk to heaven?
No, I mean, I don't know about that. I am kind of foreseeing some kind of a device that's going to be an intermediary, but our brain waves will be documented, and this device will be able to say and connect to the brain waves that have passed over that never go away. Energy exists, always exists, will always exist. You'll be able to communicate with that energy. You'll be able to know you're talking to your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, whoever. Because their brain wave patterns are a unique signature. And they'll find a way to be able to communicate with that. But then you could tap into all these other frequencies that are not of...
Oh, dear Lord.
But that is future.
Dear Lord.
Okay. Will we ever be able to...
What about those you want to stay dead? And you don't want to have nothing to do with them?
Well, if you pick up the phone and dial a random number, you probably get them. Well, let me put it to you this way. Thanks to my spirit guide, a lot of it has to do with intention.
Oh.
So you can't go into, I don't want to talk to, I don't want to talk to, I don't want to talk to, and then you pick up the device, all of a sudden connects to that person because guess what was on your mind?
Yeah.
You don't want to talk to, you don't want to talk to, but that person was on your mind. And guess who's talking to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Paul has a big old question here. September 9th. It's paranormal. When is a good time to tell my girlfriend I believe in the paranormal? This stuff scares her. Should I tell her? Will she break up with me? She believes anyone can bring evil home who practices witchcraft. She believes that this stuff is all involving witchcraft and devil worship.
Well, that's a difficult one, honey, because let's put it to you this way. If you believe in God, do you believe in Christmas? That's a pagan holiday. Do you believe in Easter? The Easter Bunny, it's a pagan holiday. Do you believe in any basic holiday, like St. Patrick's Day, which is today we're recording this show? It's a pagan holiday.
I see this question
It's
as more of a psychic question. And is he ever going to be able to change her beliefs and have her accept?
My brother-in-law doesn't like to talk about God, but he knows it's there.
He believes. It's no different than a Jewish person marrying a Christian person. Before you actually form a union for the rest of your life, you better figure out a few things.
You better figure out a way to let her know that you believe in this.
And accept. Now, I can tell you right now, you're never going to change her mind. And she's going to be scared.
Start a conversation like, do you believe in life after death?
Mm-hmm. And if you do, then you believe in spirits. And if
do you believe that Christ rose? Do you believe that Christ rose from the dead? That's paranormal.
And you believe in resurrection. And you believe in past lives. And you start there.
Do you believe that Christ rose Lazarus from the dead? That's paranormal.
Do you believe that Jesus performed miracles and made the blind see?
And the cripples walk? That's all paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
Use her religion. If you can't use paranormal, don't you say the word paranormal. Use her religion.
Use what she's familiar with to make a connection.
To make the explanation.
But she's not going to be one where you're going to be able to communicate and talk on a regular basis. Okay, next we got only a couple more questions. Connie, from born on March 8th, spiritual. Do we only have one life to live, or do we reincarnate? Here we're just talking about reincarnation.
Yes, you reincarnate. It all depends on if your karmic debt has been fulfilled or not, and how old your soul is. But usually, you reincarnate.
And when you get over there, if you want to, you want to wait a while. You want to come back right away.
Over there is no time frame.
It's your choice. Yes, but you do reincarnate. And she has, and she will. So, Brad, February 6th born, fellow Aquarian.
Another Aquarian.
Paranormal. If you are psychic, tell me how I can win the lottery. I love that question. That's always...
Oh, if only we could. Play the lottery. That's how you can win. You can't win if you don't play.
What are you, an advertisement for the lottery? Let me tell you something. Brad, you little wisecracker, you. Let me tell you something.
Numbers are random.
And if you are destined, if you wrote it in your life plan that you're going to win the lottery, then you're going to win the lottery. No psychic is going to give you the winning lottery ticket, the winning lottery numbers. No psychic can change your destiny. Period. Okay, Vera, February 6th. I've had plenty of thoughts on that wisecrack jokes in the past. That's why I already had an answer already set up for something like that, if that ever popped up. Vera, February 16th, spiritual. Why did the old religions have many gods?
because they believed that they believed in one God Almighty, the Almighty
The
Father,
Creator.
the Creator. And they believed that the Creator had subordinate gods. And each God had a specific thing that they took care of. Some took care of children, some took care of farming, some took care of midwifing, some took care of hunting, some took care. There was a God for everything that was a subordinate that reported back to the Almighty Father.
And what has religion done? There's God, and He has angels that do specific things, and then
Or
there's
the
saints that do specific things, and it's
every religion has its own step down. It has its own
whether
tree.
you want to call them Thor, whether you want to call them
Zeus,
or Anubis,
Apollo, Anubis,
whatever you want to call them. God is God, and God has divine
Jesus
helpers.
Christ, angels.
He has divine helpers. He always has.
All religions
always
have different
You want to
deities.
call them gods at one point? Okay. Now we call them angels. Now our modern society is now saying, well, maybe they're aliens or extraterrestrial or
I've never thought
or
of aliens.
interdimensional or okay. It all goes with, guess what? There's entities out there.
We adapt to the times.
Yes. And that was the last question regarding spiritual and paranormal. So this was spiritual and paranormal experiences. I did talk about a little bit about my prophecies and the refugees from Ukraine. I am concerned about COVID, and there's so many of them now. They're saying that within all the countries that have bordered Ukraine, there's like 4 million. There's a humanitarian crisis. I do believe that there's going to be a major earthquake on the East Coast in 2022. Going on real quick, I always have
What about the earthquake that just happened?
That was in Japan.
Yeah. What about the tsunami I predicted?
I know. Oh, I know. I know. At the end of every single my statements here and stuff, I post to the web all of our links and everything, just so you know. Okay, so for closing thoughts, what do you think about the Hopi prophecies? Do you think they prophesy?
I think they're scary. I really do. I think there's something to be thought about, and I think there's something that to really be taken into consideration.
And are the current times meeting the prophecies made by the Hopi?
Are the current times meeting them? No.
Yeah, there's still things to come.
There's still things that need to be done.
We took a break last week. Time Travelers in the Bible is now going to be on April 8th. And that was supposed to be last Fridays, but we took a little vacation. Next week, we're going to do Alien Implants. On April 1st will be Lucifer, Devil, and Satan. On April 8th, Religion and the Paranormal. We did tap on that a little bit. And coming up, we're going to be doing, and I mentioned it earlier, spiritual and biological entities, crystals, sci-fi impacts, Native American lore and legends, way down towards the bottom, alien abduction, haunted places, things that go bump in the night.
Oh, I got it.
Introduction to ancient alien theory.
Religion and the paranormal, time manipulation and time manipulators.
Series that we are working on is mysterious portals and vortexes, including places like the Bermuda Triangle. Mysterious triangles.
Ley lines and portals, vortexes and energies.
Another cryptozoology, or a cryptozoology series that we've already started, but we'll be doing the mysterious North American land creatures.
Loch Ness sea monster and sea lake monsters, beasts of the Bible.
Mysterious places series like Egypt and,
Mysterious people and civilization series, Mayans, Native American lore and legends.
And without further ado, let's go to our closing prayer. Okay, closing prayer will be read by Minister Jen.
Okay, once again, I ask you to close your eyes, raise your hands towards the heaven, take a deep cleansing breath through your nose and out through your mouth, and listen to the sound of my voice. Heavenly Father, as we leave this place, guide us so that we can reach our destination safely. Help us to submit and rely on you. Direct our paths and give us the confidence to follow your direction. Help us to obey everything that you have taught us through your Son. May we thrive in all areas this week and be firmly rooted in your love. In the Lord's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Go in peace. Be safe. You are loved.
This has been Spiritual and Paranormal Experiences. Until next week, God bless.
Be safe. We love you.